Hi there, my name's Jason de Wilde, Head of Audio here at the Australian Institute of Music, and welcome to another episode in our How-To series. Last time you might have remembered that we looked at recording a drum kit with a single microphone. If you haven't seen that video, it's the one right here. And today we're going to be looking at how to record a drum kit in the more traditional rock and roll sense, using multiple microphones. Now I'm going to show you a couple of the microphones that we've used in our video, but look, it's generally these are industry ones, but you can use any ones. And of course, please feel free to try different microphones out. What I've put down there is brand and model number. It doesn't necessarily have to be the only way of doing it. And please feel free to comment on the sounds. So here we go, looking at the different microphones with our drummer. Hope you enjoy.
We've got the basic drum kit here. It's in a pretty small space. So I'm just going to take you through the microphones that we're using here. So firstly, I've got a Bayer M88 on the kick drum. This Bayer M88, it's a dynamic microphone, uses heaps. The further you move the mic closer to the skin, the more of the impact of the actual of the beater hitting the skin. So it's going to feel quite clicky. I've moved this further back actually, so we're getting a more of a rounder tone. But so this becomes more like a sort of a balance control actually. By moving the microphone closer or further away, you'll get a bit more of a different tone. Then we're moving on to the snare. Snare drum, two microphones on here. I've got a Shure SM57, and this one's a typical microphone that you'll see on snare drums. This one here is a slightly unusual one. This one's an Audio-Technica 2050. I do this quite a bit to put a dynamic and a condenser microphone on the snare, though you do need to be very careful with condenser microphones near snare drums because there's a lot of sound that comes from the snare and you can damage your condenser if you're not too careful. But this one takes quite high sound pressure levels, so that's good. And the reason I do this is because it ends up picking up a lot of the top end of the snare, the real kind of air that the snare actually kicks out. So the Shure 57 is for the body and the condenser is for the sort of the air, I guess, for it. Right? Then we're moving on to the hats. Hats here, I've got a Neumann KM184. You'll notice that it's picking up pretty much sort of around the central area. You don't want it kind of too close to the bell because it becomes a little bit ringy. And also, of course, you don't actually have it in between where the two hats join because you're going to just get this waft of air. So just nicely on here, it's probably a couple of inches away from the hi-hat. Moving on to the toms. These are all three microphones, all three exactly the same. They're Sennheiser MD421s, dynamic microphones. Again, great microphones for picking up both the body and the sort of the bottom end, but also nice of the stick impact as well. So three all on the same pretty much. And again, not too close, like you find that these mics aren't right on the drums at all, and neither the snare, nothing, because you just want the sound to actually breathe a little bit before it actually hits the microphone. Otherwise, if it's too close, it sounds ridiculously close actually. Now moving up to the overheads, and here we've got some great microphones. These are an AKG 414 condenser microphones. Absolutely fantastic for picking up the top end and really a high quality mic there. And you'll notice that I've got them as a near coincidence, what we call them. So they're very close together, but the diaphragms are actually spaced further apart to pick up sort of a nice stereo image. I've got them also, again, quite a long way from the cymbals themselves, so allowing that sort of sound to kind of breathe up into the microphones. And they're just set on a cardioid pattern actually, so that gives us the nice stereo image. The final microphone that we've got is the room mic, and that is a Audio-Technica 4080. It's a ribbon microphone. We're in a very small room here, so that's kind of, it's been placed about as far away from the kit as I possibly could. It's a figure of 8 mic and really nice warm tone, and then I've actually compressed that mic quite a bit in the actual control room itself. Cool. So there you have it, there's the drum kit. Let's have it hear how Henry here is going to play it. Thanks a lot.
Cool. So before we have a listen, just so that you know, so we used lots of different microphones. That's just my choice. That's what's worked for me, but there's obviously many other options available. So let's have a listen now, and don't forget to check out the other micro lectures and how-to in the different series on the AIM YouTube channel. Till next time, see you later.